Abyakatā. There are three questions we have already discussed that there are 22 thick mātikās. If you see, we have already discussed that there are 22 thick mātikās and 200 dukkha mātikās and 42 sutta mātikās. So we are going to discuss the first thick mātikā of Nikkhepakanda, that is the Kusala Tika. There are three questions: Katame Dhammā Kusalā, Katame Dhammā Akusalā, Katame Dhammā Abyakatā. There are three questions here. How many are the dhammas or states which are called as Kusala? This is the first question. Now we have to find out the answer of these questions out of the 4 chapters of Dhammasangani. That how citta, cetasika, Rūpa, Nibbāna are discussing related with this question, that how many states are wholesome or how many states are called as moral. So there are 4 types of ultimate reality: citta, cetasika, Rūpa, Nibbāna. We have to find out that how many are the dhammas which are called as Kusala. Let us discuss first of all that what is called as Kusala. There are 3 words here as per the Arthasalani. Acharya Buddha Ghosh has defined the term Kusala. Kuchita karena sayantanam papakanam akusalanam dhammanam lunati iti kusalam. That kusal or moral states are called because it removes the immoral states which are in the form of kus. If you have seen the kus grass, the both sides of the kus grass are very sharp. If you pick up the kus grass, the fingers will be cut. In the same manner, here kuchita karena sayantanam papakanam akusalanam dhammanam lunati iti kusalam. That the immoral dhammas which are lying on the surface of mind in the form of latent form, they are uprooted by the moral dhammas. This is there are 3 letters here. Kusala. Ku is in the kuchita karena. Sa is the sayantanam, papkanam, akusalanam, dhammanam. La is the lunati. So moral states are uprooting the immoral dhammas which are in the form of defiling factors on the surface of the mind. This is called as Kusala. In the perspective of Dhamma, we know that Kusala is associated with the 3 types of moral dhammas, moral hetus. They are Alobha, Adosa, Amoha. In the Sammaditya, if you see that, first of all, it is said that Yo kusalam cha pajanati, kusal mūlam cha pajanati, akusalam cha pajanati, akusal mūlam cha pajanati, ekta vatta pikho ariya sahab ko sammaditthi hoti. Dhamm Senapati Sariput explains that what is Kusala. Then in explaining the Kusala Mūla, first of all, that Yo kusalam cha pajanati, kusal mūlam cha pajanati. Kusal Mūla are 3, Alobha, Adosa, Amoha, and this there are Akusala. So Akusal is here elevated in the 3 types, that is the Kaikam, Vachasikam, and Manasikam. There are 10 types of actions which have been discussed here. So there are 3 types of moral, that is the Panati Pata Verbani, Adinna Dana Verbani, Kamesu Mitsachara Verbani. So these are called as Kaik Karma. Then there are 4 types of Vachasik Karma: Musavada Verbani, Pisuna Vacha Verbani, Farusa Vacha Verbani, Sampalapa Verbani. And there are 3 types of mental actions, that is Anavijja, Abyakatā, and Sammaditthi. So these all are discussed in the Sammaditthi Sutta. Here in the case of Abhidhamma, we have to see that how many are the citta, cetasika, Rūpa, Nibbāna. They are related with the Kusala. We have to find out the answer out of them. Then we see that Rūpa is not related with the Kusala. Nibbāna is also not included. Only we have to find out the answer of this question. That is from the Citta. Now we have to find out that how many are the consciousness which are called as moral. That is the Kusala citta. Kusala hetu sampayuttam kusala cittam hoti. We have also discussed about the citta, that what is the citta. Here citta is called as cittam tikiriya, that all the actions which are manifested by a person, they are being performed by the consciousness of the mind. Again, it is called as charnam tauti cittam. Here, citta is in the sense of charana, that art of the painting, how an artist tries to make an image, and with the help of citta saññā and citta kamma, there is a very good example has been given by Acharya Buddha Ghosa in the Nidāna Katha of our Akusalā, the commentary of the Dhammasangani. And with the help of the citta saññā, which is the artistic design, and citta kamma, that is the art of the painting, an artist perform the actions. So here also citta is nothing but the action. So here kusala kamma is in the form of that associated with the alobha, adosa, amoha, the consciousness which is associated with the alobha, adosa, amoha. This is called as kusala citta. Kusala hetu sampayuttam cittam ti kusala cittam. So we have to find out the answer about it. And if you go through the text, the first question, it has been said that Tīṇi kusal mūlāni, alobho, adoso, amoho-taṁ sampayutto, vedanākhandho, saññākhandho, saṅkhārakkhandho, viññānakkhandho, tam samutthānam, kāyakammam, vachikammam, manokammam, ime dhamma Kusalā. This is the answer. So we have to find out that there are three types of mūla. Here roots are in the alobha, adosa, amoha. Hetus are in the sense of roots. Mūlāni hetu. Acharya Buddha Ghosa defines roots in the hetus in the sense of roots. Just like the roots gives the support of the tree in a standing of the tree. In the same way, roots are also supporting a personality in performing of an immoral action or immoral actions. That is why it is called as mūlāni hetu. So there are three types of roots, that is moral roots, alobha, adosa, amoha. So here all of you might be knowing about what is alobha, adosa and amoha, but in a very brief manner, alobho iti chago. That alobha is in the sense of sacrifice of anything. Here sacrifice is that whenever a consciousness arises to give something to someone, this there is a dāna citta, which is associated with the somanasa sahagata, that is the pleasant feeling, and having the knowledge also that this consciousness is the giving the fruit also. Then this is called as alobha, alobho ti chago. Second is the adosa, adoso ti metta, metta ti parhit kamata. That a desire to help others is called as adosa. So adosa is here just like in the Sutta Nipat, it has been defined that as a mother protects her child or baby at the cost of her own life. In the same way, a person can also behave friendliness to other persons. So here adosa is in the sense of friendliness or maitri or metta. Amoho-ti sammaditthi, sammaditthi ti panya, panya ti dhamma pati vedanākhandha. That it is the amoha is in the sense of panya, that through the panya, a person dispels the darkness of ignorance, and he comes to know that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless. So there are three moral roots which are associated. Now there is a vedanākhandha, saññākhandha, saṅkhārakkhandho. Vedana is one, saññā is one, and saṅkhāras are 50 in number. So altogether there are 52 types of psychic factors here. So it is mentioned here that is cetasikas. So it is in the form of here vedanākhandha. So vedana is sa vedati ti vedana, that anubhavan lakhanati vedana, that which is being experienced by touching of any object. So vedana is generally 5 types. So manasa vedana, sukha vedana, domanasa vedana, dukha vedana, and upekha vedana. So here khand is in the sense of aggregates or heap or the rasi karan. So vedana is of initially 5 types. So vedanākhandha, saññākhandha is saññā is nil pitta adi bhedena sanjanati iti saññā. That knowing the objects by the way of color and the form and color, that this is the white, blue, red, this is through the saññā. And saññākhandha is the aggregate related with the perception. And then saṅkhārokti iti saṅkhāram. There are 50 types of mental dispositions, and they are the psychic factors. And out of the 50 psychic factors, cetana is the prominent one. Through the cetana, all the actions are being performed. That is why Buddha also says that cetana kammam badami cetitva kai kammam vachi kammam mano kammam. So this is all the kaik, vachasik and manasik actions are being performed by this volition. Buddha says that I say volition as an action, and through this volition, all the physical, vocal, mental actions are being performed. So here it is a cetana is the prominent one. Acharya Buddha Ghosh gives the simile of cetana with badki as an carpenter. Just like a seeing a carpenter who begins his work, and after seeing the carpenter, other workers are also start working. In the same manner, it is also compared with the farmer, Khet Sami. The example has been given that whenever the landlord goes to the field and he starts plowing, after seeing him, the other workers also begin the work. So cetana is the prominent one. After the cetana, other the psychic factors are also start working. So here saṅkhārakkhandha, saññākhandha, and vedanākhandha. These are denoting the 52 types of psychic factors. Viññānakkhandho. Here viññāna is viññānati tiyatho, that which thinks of an object and knowing the object. It is in the sense of knowing the object. This is viññāna. But here it is in the sense of 89 or 121 types of consciousness. So all the 89 or 121 types of consciousness, they are called here viññānakkhandho. So this is the alobho, adoso, amoho. There are 3 moral roots which are associated with the 89 or 121 types of consciousness and the 52 types of psychic factors, tam samuttanam, and arising with that. Kahi kammam, vachi kammam, mano kammam, ime dhamma kusala. The actions which are performed by a person, the physical action, panatipata, adinadana, kamesu mitsachara, then vachi kammam, musavada, pisuna vachara, falsa vacha, samfalapa, and mano kammam, that in the form of anabhijya, abyakatā, sammaditthi. These are called as the moral dhammas. Ime dhamma kusala. This is now we have to see that how many are the consciousness we are seeing that 89 or 121 types of consciousness, as well as 52 types of psychic factors. Here, 52 out of the 52 types of psychic factors, we are having 25 types of Shobhan cetasikas, which are called as beautiful Shobhan psychic factors. And out of the 89 or 121 types of consciousness, we have to find out that how many are the consciousness which are called as moral or wholesome states. So this is the diagram. If you see, Kama which are 8, Rūpa which are 5, Arupa which are 4, and Lokuttar 4. Out of the 89, there are 21 types of consciousness which are called as a Kusala citta, that is the ime Dhamma Kusalā. Again, out of the 121 types of consciousness, there are Kama which are 8, Rūpa which are 5, Arupa which are 4, and Lokuttar 20. Altogether, there are 37 types of consciousness which are called as a Kusala Dhamma. So this is the diagram through which you can find out that Tīṇi kusal mūlāni, alobho, adoso, amoho-taṁ, sampayutto, vedanākhandho, saññākhandho, saṅkhārakkhandho, the psychic factors which are associated or arising with the moral consciousness, which are 21 or 37 in number. So these are the dhammas which are called as Kusalā Dhamma or Kusalā. So see, this is the answer of this question. So if we are going to analyze all these things, that Katame Dhamma Kusalā, which has been briefly written here, if you go through the Citta, you will find that Katame Dhamma Kusalā, it has been elaborated in a very detailed manner. But in the Nikkhepakanda, it has been elaborated in a very brief manner. That is why it is called as Nikkhepa, that in a brief manner. So here Kusala citta, which are 21 or 37 in number, they have been set like this, that Tīṇi kusal mūlāni, that the moral states which are associated with Alobha, Adosa, Amoha, and then arising with the consciousness in the form of kaik, physical action, vocal action, and mental actions. And associated with that, there are psychic factors which are moral in nature. These are the dhammas which are called as Kusala Dhamma. Ime Dhamma Kusalā, this is the answer. Now the second question is called as Katame Dhamma Akusalā. So in answer of this, it has been said that Tīṇi akusala mūlāni, alobho, doso, amoho, tatketta ca kilesa, tam sampayutto, vedanākhandho, saññākhandho, saṅkhārakkhandho, viññānakkhandho, tam samutthanam, kāyakammam, vachikammam, manokammam, ime dhamma akusalā. So this is the answer given in the Nikkhepakanda. Now let us see that if there is a question, Katame Dhamma Akusalā, we have to find out the answer out of the 4 ultimate reality, citta, cetasika, Rūpa, Nibbāna. Again, Rūpa and Nibbāna, they are not associated with the immoral states. Only we have to find out that how many are the consciousness, citta or psychic factors which are akusal in nature. So in the Kamavachara, when we are analyzing Katame Dhamma Kusalā, in the Citta, after the Katame Dhamma Kusalā, Katame Dhamma Akusalā has been elaborated in a very detailed manner. There are 8 Lobha Mūlaka, Dosa Mūlaka 2, and Moha Mūlaka 2. So there are 12 types of Akusala citta which have been elaborated in Citta. But here it is said that there are 3 immoral roads, namely Lobha, Dosa, and Moha. So we have already discussed that what is Kusala, just opposite of Kusala. There are states which are called as Akusala. So akusala hetu sampayuttam chittamati akusala chittam hoti. So the akusal or immoral types of consciousness is associated with three types of immoral hetus or roots. They are the lobha, dosa, moha. Here lobha is the greed, that lobhoti par sampatti haranicha or par bandhanam mama bhavaya. Let the other belongings be mine. This type of thinking is called as lobha. Those is par vinasa chinta, a desire to harm others. That how antipathy arises out of a person. This is that how I have to destroy the personality of other. So par vinasa chinta, whenever there is a desire to harm others, this is called as dosa. And moho is that Dhamma sabhav patichadan lakkanati moho. That moha is the ignorance which covers the nature of the reality. Through the covering the nature of the reality, we are not able to know the all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless. But in coming to Abhidhamma, this moha is called as a in the sense of dukkhe ayanam, dukh samuday ayanam, dukh nirodham ayanam, dukh nirodha gamani patipada ayanam, patit samutpannesu dhammesu ayanam, id pachayata ayanam, pubatta parantam ayanam, not knowing the Four Noble Truth, not knowing the law of conditionality, not knowing the law of dependent origination, not knowing the past existence, present existence, and the future existence. This is called as moha. Through the moha, we are not able to know the nature of the reality, anicca, dukkha, and anartha. So there are three immoral roots which are associated with the consciousness, which is called as akusala chitta. And tatkethacha kilesa. There are other defining factors along besides these lobha, dosa, moha. And if you go through the mātikā of the Nikkhepakanda, in which there are nivarana gochaka, asava gochaka, oga gochaka, yoga gochaka, kilesa gochaka, upadana gochaka, all the defiling factors, they or the immoral states, they have been elaborated there in the form of mātikā. So here the defiling factors, there are 10 types of kilesas which have been discussed in the mātikās of the Nikkhepakanda, lobha, dosa, moha. These are the preliminaries, and other defiling factors are also altogether 10 types of kilesas have been discussed. Kilesas are those stages which are darkening our consciousness or blackening our consciousness, through which our consciousness is being defiled. We are not able to know the nature of the reality. So associated with that, vedanākhandho, saññākhandho, and saṅkhārakkhandho. There are 52 types of psychic factors which have been discussed here, and viññānakkhandho, that is the 89 or 121 types of consciousness. So we have to find out that out of the 89 or 121 types of consciousness, how many are the consciousness which are called as moral, immorals, that is akusala citta, associated with the lobha, dosa, moha. If you see the diagram, then you will see that there are 8 lobha mulaka, dosa mulaka in kamavachar. There are 8 lobha mulaka, dosa mulaka 2, and moha mulaka 2. So these are the dhammas which are called as Akusalā. Again, there are 14 types of Akusala cetasika which have been discussed in the citta of Dhammasangani. So this the 14 types of Akusala cetasika which are associated with the 12 types of Akusala citta associated with the lobha, dosa, moha. So these dhammas are called as akusala citta. And associated with this consciousness, whenever any actions related with the kahikam, vachikam, or manokam, physical action, that is the panatipata, adinnadana, kamesu mikshachara, vachikam, musavada, pisuna vacha, farusa vacha, samphalapa, and manokam, that is the avidya, vyapad, and michhaditti. These three are called as manokam. These physical, vocal, and mental actions are being performed by persons. That is why it is called as cittam tikriya, that all consciousness are called as our actions. So these actions are called as immoral, ime dhamma akusala. So this is the answer of the second question. So it has been elaborated here. Tīṇi kusal akusal mūlāni, alobho, adoso, amoho-taṁ sampayutto, tad kathacha kilesa, tam sampayutto, vedanākhandho, saññākhandho, saṅkhārakkhandho, viññānakkhandho, tam samutthānam, kāyikammam, vachikammam, manokammam, ime dhamma akusala. Next, there is a third question, which is Katame Dhamma Abyakatā. How many are the dhammas which are called as inoperative types of consciousness? So here, Dhamma is in the form of citta, cetasika, Rūpa, and Nibbāna. That is the four ultimate realities. We have to find out the answer of that, how many are the dhammas which are called as Abyakatā. The term Abyakatā is very significant in the suttas also. Whenever there are 10 types of Abyakatā pahiyo which have been discussed in Putthapada Sutta, that the world is sasato lokotiva, asato lokotiva, antava lokotiva, anantava lokotiva, tam jivam tam sariram, ayam jivam ayam sariram, hoti tathagato param marnativa, hoti chana hoti tathagato param marnativa. There are 10 types of questions which have been discussed in the Abyakatā pahiyo, in the Putthapada Sutta, as in the form of Abyakatā pahiyo. But how here in the coming into the Dhamma, that it comes into the sense of ethics, then it is called as a neither moral nor immoral, which are not Kusala, not Akusala. They are called as Abyakatā. And in the sense of Dhamma, Abyakatā is vipaka and kriya citta. So here vipaka is the resultant of the moral and immoral actions. Vipachana athena vipakam, and karanamattamati kriyam. So kriya is that which is being done, and it is only in the sense of arhata cittas, or consciousness of the arhat. So here meaning of the word Abyakatā is that which is neither kusala, moral, or not immoral, that is the akusala. It excludes the kusala citta, akusala citta, leaving them all the vipaka citta, kriya citta, Rūpa and Nibbāna are called as Abyakatā Dhamma. So if you see in the table, it has been given in the, if you go through that, of how many are the consciousness which are called as vipaka, and how many are the consciousness. We have to find out the answer about the four ultimate realities, citta, cetasika, Rūpa, and Nibbāna. We have to see that how many are the consciousness which are called as vipaka, citta, as well as Rūpa and Nibbāna. They are also considered as a Abyakatā. We'll see how they are called. So out of the 89 types of consciousness, there are 36 types of consciousness which are called as vipaka citta. So when a person does the moral action, he gets the resultant of the moral action. When a person does the immoral action, he gets the resultant of the immoral actions. It is never seen that a man does the moral action, he gets the resultant of the immoral actions. So there are altogether 36 types of consciousness out of 89, which are called as vipaka citta. So see, in the text will come text how the text Nikkhepakanda says about it. So Kamavachar Vipak 23. If you see that how Kame Tevis Pakani Pui Puyani Visati. So here Kamavachar Vipak 23, Rūpa 5, Arūpa 4, Lokottar 4. There are 36 out of 89. When we are taking consideration of 121 types of consciousness, then Kamavachar Vipak becomes 23, Rūpa 5, Arūpa 4, Lokuttar 20. So altogether there are 52 types of consciousness which are called as Vipaka Chitta. In Kamavachar, 8 are called Kamavachar Sahetuk Vipaka Chitta. Out of the Kamavachar Mahachitta, that is the Kusala Chitta, there are 8 types of, and Kamavachar Ahetuk, 7 Akusala, and Kamavachar Ahetuk.
Is it audible?
Dr. Talat and Professor Deyakar, just to let you know, if you can hear me, that we've lost connection to the speaker here online. So just in case you're not aware.
Yeah, we can. He will repeat maybe this connection online cut gaya tha. So please, if you can summarize portion which you.
Yes, so we've lost connection.
Yeah.
We've lost connection.
We have 15 minutes now, 10, 15
No.
minutes.
I'm asking him how many minutes they lost the connection.
Hardly 3 minutes.
Okay, we can just recapitulate.
Okay, so just summarizing all these things, that so we have discussed just the first Kusala Tika of the out of the 22 Tika mātikās which are discussed in Nikkhepakanda. So we have discussed and how Nikkhepakanda says about this Katame Dhamma Kusalā, Katame Dhamma Akusalā, Katame Dhamma Abyakatā. So these 3 we have discussed today. We have discussed with the help of diagrams that how the text says about it. So from the next class, we can discuss the remaining Tika mātikā, that is the Vedana and Vipaka Tika, will make a through the text. And I will ask Talat Parvinji to share the text so that we can go through the text directly and we can discuss all these things, how Tika mātikā discusses about the ultimate reality, citta, cetasika, Rūpa, and Nibbāna. So this is the end of today. And if you have any question, you can ask the question, any doubts. Okay, Mriganji.
I have a very basic question regarding, like, we know that the question is that on what ground the Theravada tradition has removed the Dhammā as the Buddha's version. So we know already discussed that is the first and second concept, that Dhamma classified in two terms, Dhamma and viññānakkhandho. And you also mentioned a study that the Dhamma was the form in the Nikkhepakanda, but not as a form of seven text, but the Dhamma is there. So my question is that means that also it is said that like Pali was the Vinaya and Amrita was the Sutta, and someone say that like a Mahakaspa was the mātikā, but we don't know what exactly. So the point is that Dhamma, because the first text is Dhammasangani, and you also highlighted that mātikā word is only described in this text. In other six texts, we don't have a detailed explanation about the mātikā. So I just want to know that is a first question that how they say that this is a Buddha Vajna, Dhamma is a Buddha Vajna, because we also have evidence that like a Buddha went to
Yes.
But I think it was I think others say it's a later edition. But what ground they say that these are the word of the Buddha. And second thing is that mātikā connection is there. There's like a Mahakaspa was the mātikā there. Do you have any evidence in that?
Okay. So why Dhamma is called as a Buddha Vachan or not? It has been discussed in the Nibbāna Katha of Dhammasaṅgaṇi also. In a very detailed manner, it has been said that in suttas we are having that evam me sutam ekam samayo bhagava savatyam viharati jetvane anat pinrakasa arame. But in the text of Dhamma, we do not have such type of evam me sutam or ekam samayo bhagava viharati such type of. So heretics are asking the questions also, and related with the Kathavattu text. There are dialects in between the heretics and Theravadins, Vitandavadins and Theravadins. So they are also saying that here also in Dhamma text, it is also said that once upon a time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Parichat, Loka, under the Parichattaka tree. He was preaching to his departed mother. So this type of Acharya Buddha Ghosa has defended it, that in the our text, this is the available that this Abhidhamma was preached by the Blessed One. Again, related with the Kathavattu, it is said that when Kathavattu was composed by Moggalliputta Tissather at the time of Third Buddhist Council, how it can be considered as a text of Abhidhamma Pitaka. So in answer to this, Acharya Buddha Ghosa also discusses in Dan Katha, and it is said that the mātikās of the Kathavattu, it was already established by the Blessed One, and it was developed by Moggalliputta Tissather in the form of Kathavattu. And he quotes also Acharya Buddha Ghosa, and he made a forecast also that there will be a bhikkhu who will compile a text after Mahaparinibbāna of 250 years of Mahaparinibbāna, and he will compile a text in the form of Nikkhepakanda. So this has been defended here, And again, it is said that there are two types of Buddhavachana, Buddha Bhāsita and Buddha Anumodita. Buddha Bhāsita is that type of teachings of the Buddha which were preached by the Blessed One himself. And Buddha Anumodita is that type of teachings of the Buddha which were preached by the close disciples of the Buddha, and later on they were approved by the Blessed One. Like Sariputta has preached the Samadhi Sutta, Mahakachan has preached Madhupindika Sutta. There are so many suttas which were preached by the close disciples of the Buddha. But later on they were approved by the Blessed One also, and they are considered as the teachings of the Buddha. In the canonical Madhyam Nikaya or Dikha Nikaya, we are having the text suttas of Madhupindaka or Samadhi Sutta. But again, this when Kathavathu, which was composed by Acharya or Mogliputra Tissathir at the time of King Asoka in the Third Buddhist Council, the mātikās which were established by the Buddha himself for the Kathavathu, and it was developed by Mogliputra Tissathir. That is why Kathavathu is also considered as a text of Abhidhamma Pitaka. Now coming to the Mātikā Dhar, Vinaya Dhar or Sutta Dhar, we are having, there were two traditions also at that time. And even there were two types of dharma, that is called as Dhutanga Dhar, and which was followed by Mahakasyapa. And there is a Ananda which was called as a Sutta Dhara. So they were having the only scriptures, the readings of the text. But here the Mātikās at that time, and we had also discussed that there might be a probability, scholars are of the opinion that at the time of the Buddha, the Abhidhamma was in the form of Mātikās. And later on, from the Sariputta, when Sariputta got the teachings of the Abhidhamma from Blessed One at Saṅkhārakkhandho, and there is a close succession of from Sariputta till the Third Buddhist Council, till Mogliputra Tissathira, how Abhidhamma has been developed in the form, and this is the council in which we are having the first of all Tipitaka in the form of Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Before that, we are not having the Tipitaka as such. Even Mahakasyapa also says that Dhammam cha Vinayam cha Sangayama. But in defense of this Dhamma, Acharya Buddha goes in that Salini says that the Dhamma indicates Sutta and Abhidhamma both. So he is saying that here Dhamma is not only for the Sutta, but here Dhamma is in the sense of Sutta as well as Abhidhamma also. We had also discussed that how in the Mahaparinibbāna Sutta, Buddha gives the last teachings related with the 37 factors of enlightenment. And these 37 factors of enlightenment, which have been praised by the Blessed One, and he asked Ananda that follow these teachings of the 37 factors of enlightenment, it will lead towards a state of liberation or the state of eternal bliss. If you see the 37 factors of enlightenment, they have been divided into 7 stages, like fourfold of mindfulness, 4 satipatthana, 5 indriyas, 5 balas, 4 iddhipada, then eightfold path, then 7 factors of enlightenment, satbhujanga. So they have been divided here. So these are the ways for getting a state of eternal bliss. So modern scholars are of the opinion that these 37 factors of enlightenment are the origin of the Abhidhamma. And when the followers were analyzing these 37 factors of enlightenment in the form of 4 satipatthana, 5 indriyas, 5 balas, or four Dipad, 8 Athangiko Maggo or Satvajanga, they are developing the Abhidhamma. And this is the origin of the development, and it took till the third Buddhist council in the form of 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka. So this is a great journey. At the time of the first Buddhist council, there might not be any probability of the 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka, but it was from the Mahaparinibbāna of the Buddha. We are having the third Buddhist council, in which, first of all, we are having the Tipitaka. And Milinda Panyu is the first text which gives information, first of all, the 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka. In literary form, we are having the 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka, first of all, in the Milinda Panyu. So this is that is why it is called as since mātikās were established by the Blessed One himself in the Tavatim Sloka or here in Saṅkhārakkhandho to Sariputta, and there is a close succession from the Sariputta till the third Buddhist council. There is a development of our and there are the roles of the monks, especially Brahmin convent monks who were very much prominent after the Mahaparinibbāna of the Buddha, and that is the origin and development of Abhidhamma. If you see the role of the Mahakassapa and how the Brahmin converted monks, the scholars, they have analyzed that before this Mahaparinibbāna of the Buddha or the first Buddhist council, there is no any development of the Abhidhamma. But it was the role of the Brahmin convent monks who played a development of the 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka, and it was the third Buddhist council in which Kathavattu, which is traditionally considered as a 5th text of Abhidhamma Pitaka. But as per the chronology of the text, it might be the last text of Abhidhamma Pitaka. But again, if you go through the 15th chapter of Kathavattu, then we are having only 15 types of pachayas, not 24 types of pachayas there. There might be probability, CF Rees David, when she is translating the Kathavattu methods of debate and debates commentary, then she is saying that after the compilation of the Kathavattu, the Pathan might have come in the full form. There are 6 volumes which are related with our Pathan Pakara. So even we have discussed that how in Nagarjuna Konda there is only 5 Panchamatuka. They are discussing only 5 texts. So by that time, by 3rd century BC, 3rd BC, we are having the 5 texts. And Kathavattu and the Pathan, they might have compiled later on also. So these are the observations of scholars. Yes.
Already, sir, you mentioned, we know that the Buddha is first Abhidhamma, the true or departed mother, Mahamaya, Buddha. So, and we also know that Abhidhamma is a special Dhamma by higher teaching. Mahamaya was that time even in the Tavatisalo. That means he was not an Arahant. So, in the tradition, it only shows that respect to the mother, or also it mentions that Mahamaya is the ugly life, Shiva, Arahant, this kind of thing. Because and after that, the Buddha taught the Dhamma to Sariputta. This is the story. So, I just wondering that why Mahamaya, is that only for the respect, or she was also able to understand the whole life?
Both things are there, that giving respect to his departed mother, and we also know that she was in the stage of Sotapanna also, when she was not in Arhat Phala stage, but she was in Sotapanna. So for making her to get a state of Arhathood, he might have thought to preach Abhidhamma, since these are the and we do not find the life of our Mahamaya in Pali text, but in Lalita Vistar and other Sanskrit text, Sadhampundrika Sutra, we are having the detailed story related with our Mahamaya. And it is said that when Mahamaya came to know that my son has reached to the Tautins Loka, then it is said in the Sanskrit text that the milk from the breast automatically came out and it went to the mouth of the Blessed One. So this is the affection how the departed mother showed respect to his son also. So there is a great story that how she approaches to the Blessed One. How she, there is a great story that when Mahamaya, there is a stupa in Sravasti also of Mahamaya. And it is said that from Tavtiv's Loka, Mahamaya used to come to see where the Mahaparnibbāna of the Blessed One was held. And on the same time she was coming, she was paying respect also. And it is also said in the Sanskrit text that she was present at the time of the rituals when it was being performed. And when there is a chaitya also, which was constructed by later our venerable monks in Sravasti, where Buddha had got the. So this is the great respect as well as to make her achieving a state of Arhathood, he might have gone there. Yes, sir. Truptiji.
It appears that the teaching in the Tavatins appears as a narrative which is being added, which is being established, which is there to establish the authenticity of the text as a Buddha Vachana. It appears like when we read. So why there is a need for such narrative? Why is there a need for such narrative?
We cannot say, but in the Nibbāna of Akusalā, it is said that Mogliputra Sathir did not compile Kathavattu on his own self, but on the basis of the mātikā established by the Blessed One, he composed the text Kathavattu. That is why it is said that Sathar Din Naya Vasena Kathavattu. It has been said by the Acharya Buddha Ghosh that it is narrative also, but we do not have, and there are scopes of narratives in our literature also. And narratives makes our legend also, mystery also, as well as it makes a history also. And based upon the narratives, we are making the literature also. So this is the narratives which are propounded by the tradition, by Acharya Buddha Ghosh, by Mahavihar traditions which we are following. So I cannot say about it that from where did he get the information, but this is the interpretation of Acharya Buddha Ghosh. And even if you go through the Nidāna Katha or Pup Katha of Milinda Pahyu, and the life history of all our Acharya Buddha Ghosh as well as King Milinda and Acharya Nagasen. If you see the life history which has been depicted in the Pup Katha as well as in the Nidāna Katha about or in the Buddha Ghosh Upatti, you will find the same style of writing, the life history. we cannot say about it. And there are some scholars who opine that this Upakatha of the Milinda Pahiyo originally does not belong to Milinda Pahiyo. It was written by Acharya Buddha Ghosh for making authenticity of Milinda Pahiyo. And if you go through the Visuddhi Magga, you will find that there are so many passages which have been quoted by Acharya Buddha Ghosh in defense of his chapters of Visuddhi Magga. So there might be probability. Scholars are thinking that this Upakatha originally does not belong to our Milinda Pahiyo. It might be written by Acharya Buddha Ghosh himself for making it as a authentic text of Pali literature, and he is quoting a lot of things from Milinda Pahiyo also. So these might be narratives, but narratives makes history, makes literature also. And since we are belonging to the Mahavihar tradition, we have to follow these traditions also. But we have to make it very critical also. When Professor D.J. Kalupahana, when he was writing a history of Buddhist philosophy, he made a question that what happened to the original manuscripts from where Acharya Buddha Ghosh translated all commentaries into Magadhi from Sinhalese. These original manuscripts, what happened? They disappeared. There was a fire also in defense of that. It is said that there was a fire in Anuradhapur Mahavihar and all the manuscripts have been burned. So what we can say? We cannot say that the commentaries which are available nowadays, how much they are authentic. Even D.J. Kalupahana puts a question. And Sri Lanka is considered as a pioneer of Theravada Buddhism. They also become very much silent. When there is a question related with the what happened to the original manuscripts, they do not say anything, they become silent. So these are some of the things, but since belonging to the Anuradhapur Mahavihar or tradition of Acharya Buddha Ghosh, Dhammapala, Buddha Datta, we have to follow what the texts are saying about it.
And we can probably stop here.
Yes.
We can continue this.
Okay.
And then maybe next week we can.
Okay, in the next week, the remaining questions, I will be also glad to discuss with you all your questions.
All your questions, but in class, you definitely can ask. Then also email if you want your questions.
Yeah, already I told them, if you have any questions, any more questions, then please you can email us, and we can take it there, in the class, we can the questions. Okay, hello everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. See you again in the next week. आपका यहाँ पर है।
हाँ सर, देख लीजिए। एक सिस्टर लोग